I was a teenager, I thought psychology was so boring. I didn't even know that it could be easier. It wasn't until I started changing my mind that I started understanding what freedom was.
Hi, I'm Haley. This week, I want to talk about what happens when we're really struggling. So Eloise came over the other night and hung out with my cats and me, and she was super brave. It was so awesome and inspiring talking to her. So a lot of us have heard about anxiety and depression, but we don't really know what that means.
When I was in school and I was learning about it, not many people knew what to say when the personal questions came out. They knew like the textbook answers, but they didn't know the real life answers.
And it means that we can't recognize it in ourselves or in someone else. So the thing about anxiety and depression is they're really part of the same brain pattern that I've been talking about for the last few weeks, where hard stuff happens when we're young. Our brain thinks, I'm not good enough, I suck, there's something wrong with me. And then this thought keeps carrying out because it becomes sort of like an ingrained thought pattern. But with anxiety and depression, it's way more severe. It's basically like that happens, but we're stuck in that mental groove and we can't get out of it. And basically that happens because of a combination of things. So when we have early experiences when we're young, that sort of sets the stage.
My family, we get along, we're always there for each other, but we don't know that we're always there for each other.
Often we're born with more of an ability to be anxious or depressed than someone else. So if we've got anxiety or depression in our family, it's in our genes. So if we have it in our genes, if hard things happen when we're young and then we're faced with a really difficult experience now, that's when we really crash.
Things that kind of triggered it would be when I was in school, getting assessments, just getting all different subjects piled up and not being able to organise and not having enough time and thinking that I won't kind of hand them in, which will affect my school and friends, because if you don't have enough, then you're not good enough. If you don't have enough good friends, you don't have anyone.
And it's really, really hard to gain any perspective because we're just stuck in that mental pattern.
When I'm feeling down or anxious or anything like that, I kind of keep to myself, don't talk to anyone. I kind of become not like me. I doubt myself. I just get negative thoughts and completely forget about everything that's positive in my life. I think about I don't have any real friends, or my family would live without me. They'd be fine without me.
And it's so hard to speak out about this because nobody's talking about it. And it's can be embarrassing, it can be scary. There's so many things that might hold us back.
When I was in school, I didn't want to tell anyone. If I had days off school, I wouldn't tell them why. I kind of felt like in my group, I was kind of the only one, and if I told anyone, then everyone would kind of treat me differently. I don't know if it was just a thing at my school, but if you would tell someone, if you'd be open about it, people would kind of think that you're attention seeking.
And then we end up with the diagnosis.
I've been diagnosed with anxiety and depression.
And some people really love having a diagnosis because it helps explain things. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why I feel so bad about myself right now. That's why everything is so hard. But other people hate having a diagnosis because then it makes them feel like there's something wrong with them. And there isn't. If you're someone that's really struggling, there's nothing wrong with your brain. It's just doing what brains know how to do. It's trying to keep you safe. It's just 1,000 times more intense. So it's really important when we see other people struggling that we get that we get that this is not something they can just decide to stop. This is something that they can change, absolutely. But we need help doing it when we're really, really struggling. But the great thing is once we get that perspective, we can learn strategies and techniques and tools that can help us manage these parts of our mind and develop ways of coping.
Coming up with strategies with my mum, just so I don't need to talk as much, because when I'm in that mood, I don't like to talk. I like to shut myself out. So even just saying a number will help her understand how I'm feeling. And then I've also brought that number chart into friends and family, so I can kind of use that with anyone now and they'll know what it means, which helps me a lot.
So the important thing to remember that if you are struggling, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. This is just your mind trying to keep you safe. And it's so important to reach out and ask for help. None of us can do that on our own. So find someone that you trust, that you care about, that you know has your best interest at heart, and open up about it. And if you see someone who's struggling, really understand that they're stuck. And the best thing we can do is ask if they're okay. Reach out. It can mean so much when we're really in a dark place for someone to just reach out and say, hey, are you okay? Is there something I can do? Do you want to talk about it? Next up, I interview my dear friend, Cece.
Somebody's going to find out. I'm not perfect. I'm not as good as they think I am.
Thanks for watching.